and he would like to do it again, that's for sure. He has had only one fight in the last 2.5 years. That was his last win against Talmadge Griffiths, and as he enters the ring, clearly he knows that every single fight means a lot to him, and Sean, he believes he has enough in him to make another run at the title.
And at 32, I do as well. He is a very skillful fighter. He says, I make no excuses when I fight. I get in there to knock out my opponents. Never been down. He has been hit, he's been hurt, and he fights back. This guy is he's a bull in the ring, and he is fun to watch. He's the one that possesses the power that's been missing from this heavyweight division since Tyson.
All right, we'll see if this can be another step for him or if Cisse Salif can derail his train. Let's go to Bob Alexander right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hard Rock Live Arena here at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino, it's time for the bout you've all been waiting for. It's brought to you by Warriors Boxing Promotions in association with the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Cedric Kushner Promotions. This is your main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Your judges scoring this fight at ringside are Rocky Young, Bill Ray, and Mark Streisand. Your referee in charge of the action is James Waring. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trunks. He weighed in at 263 pounds. His professional record, 17 wins, 4 losses with 2 draws, including 16 wins by way of knockout. He comes from the Big Apple, New York City, New York. Here is Cisse Salif.
Let's take a look at how these fighters, we're going to take a look in a moment to see them match up, but here's David Tua. All right, there's our look at how these fighters match up. And we see that big height advantage, of course, for Salif. He'll try and utilize that as well as a reach advantage and see if he can keep David Tua on the end of his punches.
His opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the white trim. He weighed in at 245 pounds. His professional record, 43 wins, 3 losses with 1 draw, including 25 wins by way of knockout. He comes all the way from South Auckland, New Zealand. Here is David Tua Man Tua. 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Referee James Waring with the instructions.
Okay, right here, it's good, okay? Right here, it's good, you understand? Guys, touch gloves, good luck both of you guys.
James Waring, a former light heavyweight and cruiserweight contender, now refereeing. And we're getting close to our main event of the evening. Cisse Salif will try and utilize that height and reach advantage against David Tua. And David Tua, of course, always looking for a chance to get in and unleash his power. And here we go in our main event.
Tua is a fast starter. Big knockouts in his career in this first round. I talked about Michael Moore earlier in the show. I talked about John Ruiz. Knockout in the first round.
I think he knocked out Ruiz in 15 seconds. Or
19 seconds. It was 30 seconds. He was pacing himself with more. It was 30 seconds.
Taking his time. He wanted to feel him out for a little while.
He is a fast starter. He's a very confident fighter. He's very well preserved in the ring. He has ducked no one.
Now, he comes into this fight at 245 pounds. He acknowledged to us he would rather be a little less than that. Needs to get down to 235 where he thinks he's more effective.
But all of his good fights have been around that weight. I mean, this is the weight that he's comfortable in. I don't know if I would. My suggestion for him would be to stay at the weight where you're comfortable in. I don't like him so far over the 245 mark, but that's where he does his best work. 251 in his last fight against Griffiths. Hasim Rahman, 245.5 both times. Fought Rahman twice. Lennox Lewis, who's 245.
He's at the end of the punches right now of Salif. Salif would like to keep it this way. Salif using the jab, and you can hit David Tua with the jab. The problem is you have to avoid getting knocked out at some point during the fight with him, and he's very good with late round knockout power as well. And so far Tua not getting on the inside yet, and Salif pretty economical with that jab.
Nice jab from Tua right to the center of the body. Kind of an establishing shot. You put it in the center, and you can go over the top. You can come underneath with the right hand, and also get your opponent off balance.
Salif still using the jab here in round one. For the most part, he's been effective with it. It's kept David Tua at bay, and Tua himself hasn't exactly been rushing in to make something happen.
Hopefully he is trying to explode. Tua is. There's a couple of good shots to the body.
Right and a left by David Tua, and he is, when he devotes himself to it, a very good body puncher. He says he wants to fight. He thinks he can have a good 5-year run still in the heavyweight division. And the last 2.5, he's only had one fight. He said, I have to look at it positively and say it's been a rest for me, not look at the negative aspects, as he's had many issues with former managers in litigation, and it kept him shelved. Well, round one is in the books, and it was a quiet one.
I guess at this pace, he could go another 5 years, right?
Yes, that's true.
This is, you said another run, a 5-year run, but it would be a 5-year walk at this pace.
Here's Roger Bloodworth, his trainer.
Stand up close enough to him that you'll let him jab first. What I want you to do is don't stay there and play away from him. Start grounding him a little bit. One, nice right hand, left hand, and right hand.
Oh, he too is so great. Roger Bloodworth is so poignant with his suggestions between rounds. He is also a teacher.
He's waiting on you.
There are trainers in boxing, and there are teachers. Cisse Salif, Rodney Kreisler.
Round number 2 in this scheduled 10-rounder, our main event. I'm Al Bernstein here along with the champ, Sean O'Grady. Happy to be working with him again, and we hope you've enjoyed our evening of boxing. And we still have, of course, our main event, which is in the second round. And David Tua in the black trunks, and Cisse Salif in the multicolored trunks. They said to Tua, Roger Bloodworth said, you're posing there. I want to see some action from you.
Yeah, and how do you score that first round?
It's a tough one to score because Tua did a little good work in the last minute, but Salif, controlled it with the jab, so it's a tough round to score.
And a 10-point must. You have to give somebody 10 points, but should you have to give somebody 10 points when there's very little action?
It's a very good point.
Should be 10-point must unless there's a little action.
Leave you some room for doubt.
You can have a 0-0.
Good jab there by Salif. Tua's done good body work early in this round.
Oh yeah, and body shots accumulate in these long fights, 10, 12-round fights. You can shake off the punches to the head, but you can't shake them off in the body.
Tua working the body again.
And Tua was so great when he exploded early in fights because he caught a lot of fighters off guard. Yeah. He caught them before they warmed up, before they were actually ready. He would surprise them.
Now there's nice work. Nice uppercut by Salif, and he said to us the uppercut would be an important weapon against the shorter Tua, and there he used it very effectively.
Remember with Mike Tyson how effective the uppercut was when Buster Douglas threw it? And that's what he's comparing it to. But very confident, Cisse Salif. Says, I am well prepared. I've been training for this fight since August 26th.
The jab and the right hand by Salif. Now, Tua landing his jabs. You know, it's a misnomer to think that a short man can't land a jab, because the jab is really about timing as much as anything else.
Oh, look at those moves, too, from Tua. Good defensive moves. Tua's been doing this a long time. He knows his way around the ring. He got into boxing because his father's oldest brother, Afu Toto, was a boxer. His father tried it, and he took David Tua to the gym in '91. He didn't really like it, but when he moved to New Zealand, he picked it up again and he liked it. He went 80-6 in the amateurs, and of course won the bronze medal in the 1992 Olympics.
Became the first
and only
Samoan to win a medal in the Olympics. So very impressive in that regard. Seconds left to go here in round number 2. It's been a close round. Again, like the first one, maybe a tough one to score. A little more action in this one, though. And it comes to a conclusion now.
Round number 2 up. Well, they're hearing it from the crowd, too. Cisse Salif. That's okay for Cisse. This is what he wants. He wants to get into the mode of the fight, get past those first couple rounds. He realizes how dangerous David Tua is early in a fight. Let's get a few rounds in there about now. The thing about David is he's also dangerous late in fight. Here is a nice uppercut from Salif. He said he was going to use that all night. And we'll see if he continues to use that. Great weapon against a shorter fighter who rushes in like David.
Deep breath. Give me 3 deep breaths. Listen to me.
Don't pay any attention to the crowd. Okay, you set your own pace. Now we start stepping up. You got him standing there.
Let's go, guys. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Get back in the water up over there, guys. That water up over there. Get out. Let's go.
Roger Bloodworth quickly jumping out of the ring. He had to wipe up some water, and we head into round 3. David Tua against Cisse Salif in our main event. Tua, of course, well known to boxing fans. Comes in with a 43-3-1 record. 38 KOs among those wins, so he's got tremendous power. And Cisse Salif 17-4-2. Salif known in the boxing industry primarily as a great sparring partner. He sparred with many of the top heavyweights, going all the way back to Mike Tyson. And he wants to prove tonight that he can step up and perform well when it counts.
He is a sparring partner to the stars. Cisse Salif. He has been on the other end. He's been in the ring with a lot of guys in the gym. That was a swing and a miss. Strike 1 from David Tua.
But you know, you almost want to see that from Tua, because you want to know that he wants to crank up that left hook.
Boy, he gets it cranking too. He is just wild swinging. He can fight and he can punch.
Tua's had 2 shots at the, or a shot at the heavyweight title against Lennox Lewis. Failed in that effort in the year 2000. A very disappointing performance. And then lost to Chris Bird in the year 2001, which was an IBF eliminator to fight for the title. Those are the 2 losses that really have dogged him.
He said Chris Bird's style is very difficult. And he says Chris Bird was terrific. You know, he loves the sport of boxing, David Tua does. He says, you know, it's a privilege to box. I'm so lucky to have fought those I've fought. And it was so nice to hear that from any fighter, you know? How nice is that?
He's a very engaging guy. There he misses with the left hook, kind of wild with that punch is David Tua.
He's looking for it, though.
Calls boxing a vehicle. He says the idea is to entertain and put smiles on people's faces, and the way I can do that is with boxing. Now he's getting a little closer with that left hook. We'll see if he can land one here in the near future.
Doesn't put many smiles on his opponent's faces, David Tua. One of the hardest one-punch KO artists in the sport today.
So Salif, the big 6'4" heavyweight, has so far avoided being hit with anything damaging to the head. But he's leaning in now and giving Tua maybe a little bit more of an opportunity for that.
Salif's got some good skills. He started boxing at 22, started late in life, but there's a boxing gym in the neighborhood. He went over there and started picking up the punch for pay business. Knows David very well. He's a good puncher. You've got to watch every second of every round of this fight.
Tua picking up the pace and working the body in another round, though, that was fairly close.
There is Roger Bloodworth with David. David, at the end of that round, shaking his right hand like there may be a problem with it. You know, when inside those gloves, when you hurt your hand, when you got a hand that's injured, you shake, you try to shake the pain out of it. It looked to me like that's what he was doing.
Why you letting him hit?
Boy, he sure winds up when he punches here, David. There's Cisse Salif getting hit over there in the corner. Look at this.
And when you turn it,
big wide swing from David. He is looking for that left hook.
Just like in
David
practice.
coagulant, little blood from inside the nose with a quick coagulant on that Q-tip when they force it up the nose.
Take it down. Let's go. Get out of there. Get down, Rod. Get down. Wipe the water over there. Let's go. Get out of there.
So we continue in our main event. Round number 4, David Tua in the black trunks, and the multicolored trunks, Cisse Salif. It has been a relatively tame affair, although both men have done some good work. Salif with the jab and the uppercut, and Tua primarily with body shots.
Oh, that jab.
Yeah, Salif's keeping it out.
There goes
Great
head.
weapon.
There goes
Great
head.
weapon, and great to see a fighter that uses it, utilizes it. Use that jab to keep your opponent outside. See there? Hard to get in when that jab's in your face.
The other thing that doesn't bode so well for Tua is even when Salif stays on the inside like this, there's a nice left hook, Tua hasn't been able to do as much damage as he would like. And we remind you again, though, that there have been many fights like this for David Tua where he has just glided along, and then all of a sudden he will blast his opponent with a shot. It happened against Talmadge Griffiths in his last fight, a knockout in 10. It happened against Freza Kendo, which he knocked him out in 9 rounds, and it happened against Seem Rockman in their first fight back in 1998. He can explode with that kind of power.
And it really is a confidence for yourself if you've got that kind of power. And it's confidence because you know in many fights your opponents beat themselves. They get weary, there's an opportunity, that the window is down, and then all of a sudden your opponent's down. And it's over.
Halfway through round number 4, Tua picking up the pace with some shots to the body.
Yeah, a little more pressure. Just turning it up just a notch.
See, right in there, though, not a lot of work coming from Tua. You'd think he might be a little more active. The jab by David Tua. And that's been, when he has not performed well, that has been the way it has gone for him. Rips combinations there to the body. Now there, Cisse is open for that left hook on the inside. You'd think Tua would be ripping that punch a little harder. Instead, he's kind of tapping it out there.
Well, you know, and a lot of times you put your punches on your opponent's face, see how he's going to accept them. And you really don't put the power out there. You kind of see how, and then it may take 10 rounds for that KO punch. But you put your punch out there, then all of a sudden when it's time, boom, you nail it.
Right hand by Salif, but this has been a round in which the pressure of Tua has been pretty effective. He's gotten on the inside a lot more.
Nice jab and nice movement. Look at this. Cisse takes that jab and steps around, walk around your opponent.
So round 4 comes to a close.
Boy, they like what's happening over there in that corner. Cisse Salif.
Breathe. Huh? Two more. Why you not giving us what we asked for? Listen to me. Listen, you know what? Listen to me. Listen. All right. You see when you hit him with the right hand? You do good when you hit him with the right hand. Take it. Breathe. Cisse. You hit him with the right hand. We said no.
Body a little bit more. Right here, right hand, left hand. Then look for the uppercut. Let your body.
I'm not saying that, CC. I'm not saying that. Opportunity of a lifetime.
Oh, I mean, there to be weak. It's right there.
Deep breath.
They are trying some things over there in that corner too. You heard him try the right hand. You see what's happening with it. Strategy.
We're headed to round 5 of this heavyweight encounter. David Tua, longtime heavyweight contender, though coming off a 2-year layoff. He had a fight back in March. That was the first fight he had in 2 years, so it's been, in the last 2.5 years, only one fight for him, and he's trying to be more active and get back into the heavyweight mix, taking on Cisse Salif, 34-year-old, who hopes this is his springboard to making something important happen in his professional career. We've seen one upset already this evening. Zuri Lawrence beating Jameel McCline. And certainly Cisse Salif would like to add another.
Let go of his head now. You can't bring with you. Stay off his head. Stay off his head.
Cisse Salif's been a pro for 8 years. David Tua, a pro 13 years.
Short little jab on the inside by Tua. Not real active in there, though. Strong, hard jabs on the inside by Tua.
Out jabbing the taller man.
He cranks up that left hook in there. Little uppercut on the inside by Salif, a punch he wanted to use a lot of in this fight. Hasn't used it that much, but certainly he's used the jab a lot.
He really has forgotten that uppercut, hasn't he?
Yeah.
How easy it is to remember that. You know, it comes back to training, listening to your corner. Remember, they were telling him in the corner between rounds that overhand right is working well too. But I agree with you. The uppercut has been missing.
Just landed a straight right hand, did Salif. This fight's kind of meandering along at a pace that, as you pointed out earlier, Sean, kind of suits Salif. Whether he's winning all these rounds or enough of them remains to be seen. Tua's doing a lot of good work here. But it's a fight that allows him to hang in there, that's for sure. Both fighters doing some pretty good work on the inside. Against taller opponents, oftentimes Tua kind of buries his head in the chest of the opponent and can't get anything off. That really was a problem for him against Chris Bird in their fight.
Yeah, remember in football you had form tackling. Well, I call it form boxing. You put your head on your opponent's chest and bomb away. He does a nice job of hitting the body, but he's got to do it more. Tua does.
There's that uppercut. Another one by Salif. Hurting David Tua, though, is next to impossible. He has an unbelievable chin, so you have to outpoint him. Seconds remaining here in round 5. A pretty interesting and close round in this heavyweight matchup.
Still close. This fight so far could have been fought in a shoebox. That's how close these two are.
Why they robbed us? Because you didn't put that right hand in.
It was form boxing.
Okay. Let me get
David
the back
Tua,
of
put your head on your opponent's chest and then wail away at his body. Look at these punches here, and then Tua does a nice job. See how he ducks that chin, really protects that chin? The reason that we were talking about the uppercuts working so well is because of the fact that he keeps that chin down. Jab by Tua. 5'9", out jabbing someone 6'4".
Why the fuck you throwing the right hand? Hey, give me a towel.
All right, we have reached the halfway point, and now we move on as we forge ahead in round 6 of this fight. And I think we quite clearly heard they want the right hand in no uncertain terms in Cisse Salif's corner. Salif coming into this fight with a 17-4-2 record, and David Tua 43-3-1. Tua, a big knockout puncher, 38 KOs in those wins. So far, he has not hurt Cisse Salif, and we've had some pretty interesting action, especially on the inside during the course of this fight. There's a chopping left hook by to it, but he's not throwing those punches with a lot of leverage.
No, not at all. He's putting them in there. These are probing shots. They're testing. He's testing the waters. He's waiting for that optimal moment. See, I mean, he's coming out with a little more intensity in this round. His punches are crisper.
You're right, and Salif's helping him out by staying on the inside. Here's a nice left hook.
Yes,
well,
he is.
Your point's well taken. Now, Tua is ripping that left hook to the head with a little more intent to hurt.
Oh, there really is a system to this madness. Make your opponent stand in there with you, and then you explode at him. Don't waste your big shots when you don't hit your opponent. Remember that big swing that he took back in the third round that missed?
Nice left hook and an uppercut by Salif, then a short chopping right on the inside by Tua. So Cisse Salif making Tua's job a little easier here, though, by staying on the inside with him and not using his height and reach.
Right, and where's that jab? Where's that left jab that Cisse utilized?
You can throw it from there.
You can't do it right on top of him. You can't use it. You can't use it. And who's fighting? Who's fighting? Who's imposing their will?
The tall heavyweights that fight tall in this division win, and the tall ones that don't lose. We saw Dominic Wynn fight not tall against James Toney recently, laid on the inside with him and made it easy for Toney, and he lost the fight. We saw Vladimir Klitschko fight tall against Sam Peter and win that fight.
And you must use, you know what, you're desperate in the ring. You use every attribute that you have, even the ones you were born with. Your height, your reach, your brain.
Oh, good shot by David Tua on the inside. Now Salif is firing back. That was a great right hand by Salif. Can you hurt David Tua ever? Maybe.
Turn it up. Look at the difference now, the complexion.
Great round. Nice right again by Salif. Did he get to Tua? He pushed him back. Those were two excellent right hands. This has been a very good round 6. A lot of action inside there by these two heavyweights. And when Salif gave himself room to punch, the right hands were effective.
But this is David Tua's fight. Head to head, nose to nose, and glove to glove.
They wanted the right hand from Salif, and when he threw it in this round, he was very effective. Will we see more of it? A good round 6. A lot of action. You know they're going to call for that right hand. We'll listen. They're going to call for that in Salif's one.
Relax. Hey, beautiful. Hey. 3 deep breaths. Stop falling.
Well, they call for the right hand, but they also are going to be calling for the left hook. Here's why. Look at this. Salif catching the left hook from Tua, but it was Salif with a left hook of his own. And here, too. Salif did really well. They made good shots that round, but the tempo is changing.
You gotta get tough in there. He's tired. Hey, come on, you tried to mount an attack. Go right back, 3 and 4, right back. Get mean, Cisse. Get mean.
Get mean, and I tell you, Cisse Salif is a very nice fella outside the ring, but for him to get mean is going to take some doing.
We move into round 7, and a very, very active and interesting round 6. And part of the problem with guys that get to be known as sparring partners is there's this phrase called sparring partner mentality, in which they simply don't go after a win. And they said it to us yesterday at the meeting. We need him to be angry in the ring. We need him to be aggressive, as they were telling him right there. He needs to go after Tua with not too much abandon, because you can get hit, but he's got to stay on the outside and throw punches with intensity. Here's Tua. Wow, 3 straight jabs, and those were excellent.
As a sparring partner, you are paid to take a beating every day. You're not supposed to get the best of your sparring partner if he's a champion, and he's been in there. Cisse has been in there with a lot of champions in the gym. So you really it's kind of hard to get a gauge on where you stand in a fight, an actual fight, when you're trying to win the fight. They're so defensive in the gym. Now they're asking him to win.
We're in round number 7. David Tua in the black trunks, former challenger for the heavyweight championship, top contender until litigation issues with his former managers shelved him for a couple of years. Now he's trying to make his way back, and good left hook on the inside. Salif again laying on the inside with Tua, and he's getting racked with those left hooks now.
Underneath and over the top. Look at the body shots, too, from Tua.
Tua's starting to, it seems, sap some of the energy from Cisse Salif. He's just laying on the inside, taking a pounding now.
You know, I talked about the body shots accumulating. This is the effect it has on you. Do they hurt? Well, they hurt, but you don't realize it when they're little pitter-patter shots like he's getting hit. The effect of them is more detrimental to a fighter. They're more damaging than getting hit a hard shot.
Salif is still landing from time to time when Tua comes in, but Tua able to work his way right on the inside and do what he wants now to the body and the head. Salif not firing back.
Yeah, Cisse looking very much like he has sparring partner syndrome here. Just surviving.
And maybe a little tired. Lands a right hand to Tua, and Tua rips the hook, and against the ropes is where he doesn't want to be, Cisse Salif.
Is he hurt? Wide swinging right hand. Cisse says no.
Salif will be very distressed with himself when he looks at the tape of this fight and realizes how economical he was with throwing that right hand. There it was, and it landed. A little over 20 seconds, about 20 seconds left here in round 7. It's been an interesting round. David Tua's gotten a lot done here in round 7. Uppercut by Tua may have stunned Salif. Salif took a left hook and came right back with a right. So an interesting round in round 7.
Very interesting, very systematic. You know, now it all kind of makes sense. He was what David was doing is he was making Cisse acquiesce to his beating. Make him stand in there. Cisse can be very difficult to fight if you fight his kind of fight. What he's doing is he's making Cisse fight the kind of fight that David Tua wants him to fight. On the inside, here's what he's doing. On the inside like that, look at these big shots from David. Stand still, come in here with me, and I'm going to hit you. And David, again, winding up with the right cross, the left hook. Both punches working for David, and they work well. Cisse Salif tries back, but not quite the same effect.
He's going to break that round.
A system to this madness.
Round number 8 in this, our main event, David Tua taking on Cisse Salif, and in the last several rounds, things have changed a bit. Early in the fight, Salif was able to be effective from the outside. In the last several rounds, it's been Tua getting on the inside and doing some serious damage. Neither man has been down in this fight. There have been no cuts. And the last 3 or 4 rounds have been very active and fun to watch.
A lot of punches, a lot of effective punches from Tua. Just beating down every round with Cisse. Just a little bit behind. You know, just a step behind, like a sparring partner would be.
David Tua in his last fight against Talmadge Griffiths ended up winning in the 10th round on a TKO after steadily putting punishment on Griffiths. Also, you know, we look later in this fight here, Sean, and even though Tua's at a higher weight, 245, pretty impressive that here we are in the 8th round, and his output of punches has not slowed down. It's actually gotten better.
Oh, he trains very hard. Nobody in the Roger Bloodworth camp comes into a fight out of shape. Roger is one of those trainers that knows styles. He knows the sport of boxing. He knows how to get fighters in shape, too. You don't get tired of fights with Roger.
Cisse Salif has taken some amazing body shots. I mean, he is, look at that hook by Tua. He is ripping the body. I mean, that's tremendous body work. Look at that. Wow. Not only do they score points, or they should if judges pay attention, they sometimes don't, but also it just saps the energy of your opponent. There's a good double left hook. Counted right by Salif, so he's hanging in there.
He tries back with the right, but single punch. You got to put 2 and 3 together for somebody like Tua.
And Salif now, Sean, just laying on the inside with Tua. We've seen very little distance between these two for the last couple of rounds.
And this plays into the hands of David Tua. This is the way he likes to fight, but he knows how to fight. This is the best way for him to fight. Yeah, he's used the jab some. David has, but you got to get that jab working if you're Salif.
So David Tua, 32 years old, trying to make another run at a shot at the heavyweight title.
And I hope he does. David's a great guy. He's a nice guy. He loves the sport of boxing. He reads the magazines. He watches the fights. He's a real student of the game. and you really got to cheer for a guy like that.
Very affable outside the ring. Big opportunity for Cisse Salif, and while he has performed well in spots in this fight, things have gotten away from him in the last 3 or 4 rounds, that's for sure. Round 8 comes to a close. Good one for Tua.
And for Salif, too, he's good. He's got a lot of good skills. He knows his way around the ring, but he is just a step behind. Let's listen. Boy, David Tua pounds the body. Look at these shots. And it's just a preponderance of punches. You feel around your opponent. You feel around for his vulnerabilities and his weaknesses downstairs. If he flinches, you know maybe he's got a rib broken. If he grimaces, you know maybe you're getting to his liver. If you hit him properly, you hit him on a short rib, maybe you just disorient him a bit. But it is you're really feeling your opponent through these fights.
We move into round number 9, and it is David Tua in the black trunks, Cisse Salif in the multicolored trunks. This is our main event of the evening. It's been an engaging and, for the most part, entertaining heavyweight matchup. David Tua doing some very good work to the body and the head as well, and Cisse Salif boxing well early in this match, but being caught in the slugging contest last year. Now here's Salif on the outside taking a big left hook.
Big crowd on hand, and a lot of David Tua supporters with Tua-man shirts on. Big combination downstairs, some shoe-shine punches. Nice work from David.
Tua working very effectively to the body.
For a heavyweight fight, this is a good pace.
Yeah, they've thrown a lot of punches, both men, Tua especially, and Salif especially with the jab early and right hands and uppercuts. Salif has been more inactive in the last 3 rounds.
But good jabbing in this round.
Yeah, and there's Tua coming forward with his own jab. Now Salif has gotten more room to punch, but hasn't really thrown that right hand. It's been Tua actually doing better damage from the outside in this round. Again, the hook getting in by Tua after he had done good work to the body.
Oh, he's building, you know, every round. Tua a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, a little bit harder.
Salif, it's actually shocking that Salif hasn't slowed down even more from all the body work, but he certainly, his movement has slowed, and he's languished on the inside more with Tua.
And one of the attributes of sparring partner syndrome, somebody who's just in there, he's hanging in there, he takes the shot, takes the punch well.
Tua getting in a chopping right hand. We've seen more of the Tua right hand in this fight than we sometimes do. It's a weapon he sometimes underuses, but tonight he's used it a lot. Salif, his last loss came against David Bastos. He only had 2 weeks' notice for that fight. It was a very close decision, one that he thought he might have won. That was a moment when he would have stepped up. Tonight was another. He hoped to step up. Been pretty tough, though. I landed some good uppercuts there, which he's been trying to land through this fight, but not enough, certainly, to win in this round. And there's 1 round left to go in our main event.
You gonna say why you didn't win? Because you're not fucking acting tough. God damn it. You're not tough in there.
You need this round.
You need this round. You hear me? You're out of line. Put the fucking ass around. You hear me?
A lot of heat over there in that corner.
I'm going right hand. Alignment. Get tough in there.
Trying to fire his man up is Rodney Chrysler.
You good? Okay. I want to see more pressure, but I don't want you walking up and standing up straight. A little head movement. Keep that. Listen, every time you jab, he backs up. It don't matter if you're hitting with it or not. Keep that left hand out in front of you. Look for the right hand on the body, the right hand over the
Leave it on the ring, Luso. Leave it on the ring.
Run your hand. Okay? Run your hand. Yeah, you're doing fine. Water up down there. Go out there.
Happy with what he sees. We're happy with what we see.
Round number 10, an impassioned plea in the corner of Cisse Salif. Will it make a difference? We come out for round number 10. This is a fight that in the last 5 or 6 rounds has clearly gotten away from Cisse Salif. Can he do enough to get it back? And does he need a knockout to win, which is something nobody has done to David Tua? Nobody's even come very close. Even Aikai Biabuchi, in a phenomenal fight years ago, did not knock Tua out, and they exchanged hundreds of hard punches. A final round in this heavyweight encounter. Does Tua, for instance, feel it's important to get a knockout in this fight? Because it's all about marketing yourself as a heavyweight contender. And does he feel pressure to do that?
As a power puncher.
Yeah,
of course. You know, we talked about in the open about how he's the most powerful puncher in this heavyweight division now. And, you know, you had a lot of people depending on that. A lot of people wanting to see that explosion. And how close is this fight? I mean, it could be decided here in this final round. Is it that close?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
How many of those early rounds went to Cisse Salif, and how many of them were really, really close?
He probably won a couple, but I can't imagine that he's going to get this precision. Good straight left hand. Now, Salif's having himself a fairly good 10th round. We're about halfway through the round, and he's performed a little better. In fact, he's landing some pretty good right hands. And doing what they urged him to do, throw the right hand. There it is again. When he does throw it, it can be effective. That and the uppercut. He's abandoned those punches for the most part.
Oh, good left hook from Tua. And Cisse comes back with his right hand. They were begging for that right hand for the last several rounds from Salif.
Salif has been 10 rounds once before. There's a decision loss to David Bastas, a fight that, as we said, he and others believed he might have won. Again, body work by Tua.
Oh, good left hook again. Tua really does a nice job of stepping back, shifting his weight on that left foot, and then throwing the left hook. Again.
Those have been very good left hooks. They haven't been the perfect Tua left hook, because if they were, probably Salif would be down. There's a beautiful hook by Tua. He's now getting that punch in with a lot of regularity. Will this be another 10th round knockout? He's hurting Salif, but there's only moments left to go. So David Tua finishing with a flourish. Big hook, hard Salif, and another. Salif kind of patting him on the back. Ludacris loves it. One of the many boxing fans here in this arena. And so an entertaining heavyweight matchup. One in which early on Salif did well, and then David Tua took control.
And it started slowly, but it built to a crescendo. You know, and we all remember this final round more vividly.
God damn.
And good final round. Trying to knock him out right there at the end.
Thank you. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, full respect.
Man. You know, we have television. Thank you.
That's great.
Good to hear those guys chatting with each other, and a lot of respect in that corner.
Both of them.
Right back.
From both of them.
Both of them. Real nice guys. And they didn't seem like they were friends. They were real nice to each other at the end of that final 10th round. And Tua using that left hook, using it well, utilizing it a lot. And he caught Cisse several times with that left. And here he is again. See, he puts all that weight on that left foot and then crack. He really throws that left hand. Cisse Salif trying for that overhand right.
Well, a big performance for David Tua, and we would imagine, since he was so much in control of this fight from about the 4th or 5th round on. We would imagine that this would be a decision win for David Tua, though clearly it's in the hands of the judges. Did David Tua make enough of a statement in this to tell the world that he's on the verge of again being a heavyweight contender? Now, he's only ranked 12th in one of the rankings. He's not in the top 10 anywhere else because he's just had the one fight since he came back from that long layoff. Would another win like this be enough to vault him in the top 10? Well, we'll see. We'll see if it is a win. Bob Alexander's in center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. We have a split decision. Judge Rocky Young scores about 96-94 in favor of Salif. Judge Bill Ray scores about 96-94 for David Tua. Judge Mark Streisand scores 98-92 for your winner by split decision, David Tua-Man Tua.
Well, one of the judges.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not worried about it. Hold your hand up high. We're getting down. I'll be back again. Okay. You know, you're number 9. I see number 6. All right. Number 9, I see number 10 then. Oh, yeah, thank you. I know that. Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you.
All right, there's lots of respect between these two fighters. One of the judges clearly saw those early rounds more for Salif than, let's say, we did. And so he made it a 96-94 win for him. And the other two judges ended up seeing it for David Tua. I might have split the difference between the 96-94, 98-92 card. But in any case, it ends up being a split decision for David Tua. And I'm not sure if that will end up damaging a little bit the marketing of David Tua as a guy that's back. I don't know that it should, because for the most part, there were good elements to his performance, even in the split decision. But it'll be left to the boxing pundits of the world to decide. Let's go up to Sean O'Grady. He's there with the winner.
Thank you, Al. David Tua, congratulations. I was looking at your face whenever they announced the decision. When they said split decision, what were you thinking?
Well, here we go again. But more importantly, love you, Mom. You know, we worked really hard for this fight. We knew that Mr. Salif was a lot better than what people had credited him for. So we came out and did what we had to do. We established a lot of things, good things in the ring tonight that we worked on, and we can only pick it up from here.
In listening into your corner with Roger Bloodworth, it seemed like you and he were quite comfortable that you were ahead in this fight. Were you that surprised at the decision?
Yes, we were very surprised, but this is the way it goes sometimes. You just got to roll with the punches and move forward.
It seemed like you had kind of a slow start in this fight. You kind of worked your way into it. What were you doing and what were you thinking early in this fight?
If anything else, Raj and I know the importance of having a good jab, and we established that tonight. We just need to capitalize on breaching the gap after making a good movement with the jab inside and then going to the body. So I know that Rome wasn't built in one day, so we just got to have to go back to the drawing board and keep learning from there.
Looks as though you're changing your style a bit. Are you, and why?
I don't know if it's changing my style. If anything else, it's about doing the very best I can in there and trying to have fun. Obviously, yeah.
You've been great the way you've been fighting, you know.
So it's a very exciting time. So I'm looking forward to going back to the drawing board and looking forward to the next fight.
And where do you go from here?
Well, Cedric is the man. He'll be working very hard on the next fight, and we don't know where that will be and who will be. So, yeah. You know,
and when you got a guy like this, Cedric, David Tua, undaunted by anybody, you can put him in there with anybody, and he'll give it a full effort. What do you go with him next?
Well, I think the biggest disappointment of the night was people underestimated Cisse Salif.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know Cisse that well. He's a very, very capable fighter. I mean, a terrific chin, long reach, a very capable fighter. I'd like to see Dave have one or two more fights, maybe even one before the end of the year, and then next year he can take on all comers and get a shot and fight for the championship and win that title that's eluded him for so long.
Well, he's always been one of my favorites. No excuses, and he always gives a good effort. David Tua, congratulations, and Al, we saw some good fighting tonight.
We did indeed. A very interesting evening of boxing. One upset in terms of Zuri Lawrence beating Jameel McCline. A great performance by Edison Miranda. And in our main event, we saw, and also Yuri Foreman in that first fight, putting on a boxing clinic. In our main event, we saw David Tua get this win. Is the split decision, does it matter in terms of how people see him in the heavyweight division? Or as Cedric Kushner said, does the fact that Salif stepped up and fought better make that not a problem for Tua?
I think anybody who is going to face somebody like a David Tua, they're going to fight above their skills. I mean, David Tua, of course, he's fought, his record looks like a who's who in the heavyweight division. So I think everybody's going to step up. That's going to give him a difficult time. He's still got the power. He didn't unleash it tonight, but he's still got the power. I'd like to see him use that.
All right, well, we may see it in future fights. Sean O'Grady, it's been great working with you. Great evening of boxing. We saw an upset tonight. We saw 4 excellent matches, and we are very happy that you joined us tonight for this great pay-per-view show, The Rumble at the Rock. I'm Al Bernstein for Sean O'Grady and Juan Lorena. Take care, everyone.